Welcome to the Failchildren podcast. I'm your host, Scooter.
And I am the other host, Kiwi. That's a cool sound effect. We're like ready for the Area 51 raid.
The Area 51 raid?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You feeling good about that?
I'm pro. I have all my stuff packed. I know it's weeks away, but the car is good to go.
Imagine how stupid you would have to be if you were the U.S. government and you still had the aliens there.
I saw someone send a Snapchat. It was like a Snapchat that was going around. That was like a guy in a military uniform, and he's like, "Gotta go to a dumb meeting about the Area 51 raid." And I don't know if he's joking. Like, obviously, he could just be joking. Like, he's just like probably going to the base or something. But that'd be so funny if they're worried enough about it that they they're holding meetings. Like, okay, guys, if this many people show up, this is what we got to do to de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate? Yeah, right. They're gonna come out firing.
But
they come out firing on people like that, just like what happened to Willem von Spronson.
But Willem von Spronson was one dude, and they're able to totally
Our hero. Our hero, Willem von Spronson.
Absolute Antifa super soldier king. Rest in power.
We got to be careful about talking about the Area 51 thing.
Why?
I was watching YouTube videos about it, like Fighter and the Kid,
Yeah.
like Brian Callum and
Oh yeah.
the other guy.
Yeah.
And he was talking shit on people who believe in the Area 51 thing.
Yeah.
He was getting angry. He was telling him to suck his green dick. He's like, if you believe in the Area 51 thing and you think there are aliens there, you're a fucking moron. He was saying all that.
Yeah.
The comments were violent and mean and
Well,
people were mad as shit about it.
I don't think there are aliens there.
Same.
Yeah. But I think that there might be people that show up to do it.
I think there might be some cool secret military weaponry.
Yeah, I think it's a military base that they're working on stuff.
There's probably some really crazy stuff there.
Yeah, I was imagining that they're hurrying and creating little green men in a lab to put there and getting rid of all the pig human hybrids that they've been making there. They're shit. All the chimeras, they're just getting rid of them, slaughtering them.
The pig human pig human hybrids are just sitting there kill me, and they're shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they're hurrying to make it look like it's just aliens instead of all the other fucked up shit they're doing there. But
I'd buy that.
Yeah, that's my conspiracy theory about it. I have
how
coworker.
shitty it took the government 10 years, 7 years to get Osama bin Laden, but we're able to catch aliens who travel between galaxies.
Well, the story is
faster than the speed of light.
The story is they crash landed there.
On purpose?
No, on accident. That's the story. That
they're able to navigate their way through galaxies.
Okay.
But they can't fly around on Earth for a little bit?
Okay, let's not use the argument from incredulity, okay? This is the story. Aliens, imagine you're an alien in a spaceship. And something goes wrong with your spaceship. And you're like, shit. Where's the nearest planet that has breathable air? You're like, okay, looks like it's this planet, whatever they call it, probably some random number or some shit. It's Alpha Centauri, whatever,
I assume they probably call it Earth too. Why would they have a different name?
Yeah, they probably know. Anyway, they're like, okay, everything's going haywire. They're like, okay, just land, whatever, in a desert. Land in the desert. There's no one around. And they land. And the first people, somebody randomly finds them. They're like, okay, we got to let the cops know, I guess. Call the cops. And they just immediately call on the military to just shut it all down. They build a military base around it. That's the story. I don't say
Okay.
I don't believe that.
I'm down with that.
But that's the story.
What if aliens got here and we were talking to them and we were just laughing about the different names they have for shit? We show them some water. What do you guys call this? They're like, that. Ah, the drinkable fuel. We call that penis.
Yeah, but yeah, they like have very similar names for everything, but well, like if there are aliens there, they're not gonna speak English. Like what, we're gonna get them out? They're just gonna eat us?
They say that the first thing we'd be able to communicate over would be like mathematics.
Yeah,
Because those are like constants in the universe.
sure, like gravity and shit.
Or they would just come down here and then like we'd immediately communicate through sex.
Yeah.
They put something inside our butts and it like uploads the information to our brain, and then we like, I don't know, when I think of my head of like what aliens speak like, what do you imagine?
I imagine like insect-like aliens that are like, because I
Because you've watched movies.
yeah, because I like read Ender's Game, all the Ender's Game books as a kid, and then I like loved like District 9. Like I don't know, that's kind of what I have is like the kind of the alien, like that, like the kind of like the ants evolved to be the smartest ones on a different planet.
I can see that. In my head, they just look exactly like dolphins.
You mean like, yeah, okay.
They're like dolphin
Posadist,
humans.
so you're a Posadist.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
Cool. Yeah.
Willem von Spronson. My hero. My dad, actually.
Don't be disrespectful.
I wasn't.
I think that there's going to be like 100 people that show up to the Area 51 raid. And they're not going to
be more than that.
I don't think so. I think it's going to die down. The meme's going to die down by the time the actual event on Facebook is. And there's going to be like 100
These people
weirdos.
are memeing. I've read a lot of YouTube comments.
Yeah.
People are angry about it. They believe it's real.
Yeah.
They think this Bob Lazar guy is just telling the truth about everything.
Okay.
I'm agnostic on it. I do not
But you're saying the
want.
people that actually show up. I think it's like 100 people, like 100 weirdos that show up.
Actually, fuck it. Just to make people mad, aliens aren't real. Not only have they never visited Earth, but they are not real. Period.
I don't think space is real. I think that Planet X ain't coming because ain't no space, because ain't not globe Earth. That's my official position and always has been. But
it's a computer simulation, and it ends as soon as you get above the firmament.
yeah, it just doesn't load beyond that. It's like
Right.
the end of Minecraft. That being said, they're not going to be able to mow down 100 people without everyone getting really pissed about it. One guy that's like throwing Molotov cocktails, like Willem von Spronson, they can spin that into being like he was a terrorist. You know?
Yeah, killing a bunch of like internet meme lords.
Yeah, guys that are just like
That'd be a
outside.
bad look. What if
Yeah.
that started the revolution?
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. I think
That would be so funny if the revolution was started by like a
Dude.
meme about aliens.
that's
Tom
very
DeLonge just coming in his pants. Tom DeLonge's like, holy shit, it's
That's-
happening.
That's very you know, that's very 2019 to have like a revolution started by an Area 51 raid.
I have a feeling that our revolution is gonna suck and be lame. You know how like you look through history and just some of them are like stupid, like the American Revolution.
Yeah, the American Revolution was so lame.
American Revolution sucked. That was the most boring revolution.
Oh my god. People were just like, what's weird about the American Revolution is that like America was in the wrong.
100% we were in the wrong.
Yeah.
The British gave us a shitload of money
Yeah.
to beat the Indians in a war.
And the French.
The French were defending the native population.
Yeah.
We were trying to murder the native population who already lived there.
Yeah.
And the British government funded us so we could do that.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they saved our asses. And they're like,
They were like,
look,
well, can you please pay us back like over time with taxes? Like we gave you a lot of money. Like just like you don't
Thomas
have
Jefferson
to pay it
just
back.
freak the fuck out.
It's like, no, this is bullshit. We are our own country. We don't owe you anything.
So they basically like skedaddled on money that they owed.
Yeah, it was like
That's not a
literally-
revolution. That's not like an ideological difference.
Yeah, and they set up the same thing too. It wasn't like they had a huge problem. Literally,
Yeah, the American system, how's that much different than the British system?
at this point, it's less.
It's less good.
Yeah,
Here. We would have
exactly.
been better off. England abolished slavery before us. England had civil rights before us.
Yeah.
England has universal health care.
Yeah, like in Canada compared to us, who's a British colony and stayed a British colony. Canada was like, you guys can tax us, it's fine.
We'll pay our fair share, guy. Sure.
Yeah.
You're sending us aid from afar? That's
Yeah.
really nice. What are these pawns over here, eh?
And look what
Can
happens.
we fight and play with rubber on these? Can we punch ourselves and slap this rubber around with some wood? That sounds fun, eh?
Let's brush the ice to make the thing go far.
Okay, I saw a hilarious Vice News documentary. It's about, because marijuana just got legalized in like Ontario or something.
Yeah.
And it's this curling league. It's adult curling.
As opposed to child curling?
Child curling is more prevalent.
Oh, like youth
league, yeah.
Okay, for sure.
But it's adult. Youth league is like for the competitive people trying to make it, you know?
Yeah, like to the
Adult league.
like to the Olympics and stuff.
Yeah, to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Adult league is just for recreation.
Okay, gotcha.
And so what they have.
It's like when adult men play softball.
Right. No one's trying.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get out of the house.
For sure, yeah.
And so
Stay active.
marijuana just got legalized. And instead of just keeping the same rec league, they like had an argument about whether or not they should be allowed to smoke weed and do curling at the same time. And half of them were like, no, we got to keep curling pure.
Yeah.
And the other half was like, what's wrong with a little bud while I'm curling, eh? I just want to
I just want a blazing curl, my man.
I just want to blaze and curl, my dude.
That's
you fucking
so
hosers.
funny.
What a bunch of nerds, eh?
Yeah.
What a bunch of griefers, eh?
Come on, buddy. I just want to get a little blazed and curl. What's
And
so
so-
wrong about that, my guy?
And so they started their own league that is a requirement that you have to be stoned and do marijuana, edibles, smoke weed while you curl. And they did like this interview with this guy who had a coonskin cap.
Mhm.
He had like John Lennon sunglasses. He had sideburns even bigger than mine when mine were ridiculous. His like went down to his lips.
Like mutton chops.
Yes, insane. And he
Yeah.
had like he was dressed in complete fur. Like he looked like a fur trapper from way back in the
Yeah.
day. And he was like, and they were like, what should we call our name, eh? And they're like coming up with ideas. He's like, oh, since we're pushing around stones, we should be the Rolling Stones. And they laugh for like 2 minutes unedited.
That's amazing. It's not even, the stone doesn't even roll, it slides.
It's sliding, yeah.
It's like a sliding stone.
They're the Rolling or is the Rolling Stoned?
Oh my God. That's not good.
No, they weren't good.
They need to workshop that a little more, probably.
There were some other names that were pretty clever.
Mm.
I have to admit, like marijuana themed names, they usually do a good job.
Yeah, there's a lot to work with. There's a lot of like nicknames for smoking weed. So you do have a lot to work with there.
What's your favorite one?
Probably I would say probably Choom. I'm really into Choom. It's one that I found out recently.
That's very Marianne Williamson.
Is it?
Choom.
Choom. Yeah, that's
It
like
almost
one that
sounds
I
like
found out
Om.
about. Yeah. I don't know where that even started. I looked it up on Urban Dictionary the other day, but yeah, it's like, choomin'. I'm chooming some loud, choom gang.
Calling it loud is funny.
Yeah. So that's probably my favorite right now. What about you?
Yo, this weed is loud.
Yeah. I'm chewing on that good.
I've always loved blazing it.
Yeah.
Getting toasty.
Yeah. Yeah, getting toasted. About to get toasted. 'Cause that like specifies that you're getting baked and not getting drunk also.
I remember like me and my friend like in high school. I remember it was like the first time that I had been like baked. We did like bong rips,
Mm-hmm.
and I was not prepared for that. I was just really, really high
Yeah.
in my bedroom, and there was nothing in there because I just moved. And I was just sitting there in an empty bedroom with him, and we were eating an entire box of Oreos, and the Oreos were gone. And he just looked at me. He's like with concern. He's like, dude, we're baked.
He's like scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely been so baked that I've been scared.
I have been a lot.
Yeah. That's the bad thing about weed is that it's not like you just like you can just do more until you fall. You can't just always do more until you fall asleep or stop thinking. Sometimes you just think more on accident.
It's a little too loud.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little too
It's
loud.
fucking loud.
It's fucking loud in here, buddy. And I'm trying to curl.
We gotta watch that video afterwards. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So when are we seizing the means of production and all that? Non-violently?
Yeah, we're gonna non-violently.
Peaceful revolution?
Yes. We love reform. We love sending waves of love. We love love. We love to love. Speaking of sending waves of love, watching Marianne Williamson totally destroy Dave Rubin with facts and logic,
That's great.
that made my day.
So there's this great video by The Surfs. If you guys are interested in watching a video, after the podcast ends, of course, maybe write it down. There's a video by The Surfs. Just do The Surfs, Marianne Williamson, Dave Rubin. Oh, it's so funny. She gets destroyed.
No,
Or
she doesn't.
He gets
Yeah.
destroyed.
The
She destroys.
it's the thing is that Dave Rubin is really transparent about, like, when he has a left-leaning guest on, he really gives them the third degree about trying to get them to shit all over Democrats.
Right. He wants to grill them and he wants them to badmouth their own.
Yeah. Like, he talking to Marianne Williamson, he's like, well, yeah, I think it's really, I don't know about this whole reparations thing. I don't know about, the
$15 minimum wage.
$15 minimum wage, the immigration policies, all these kind of things. Really pushing her really hard. And she was just, like, so prepared. It's like Marianne Williamson comes across as someone who maybe is, like, just kind of this, like, mystical, healing crystals lady who doesn't know anything, but she actually is, like, super well versed in, like,
social things.
yeah, like how reparations have worked in other countries and helped society, and just like the effective immigration in our country. And so she just like, and she did not take any shit from him, and it was so beautiful to see.
She took a diarrhea all over Dave Rubin's chest.
It was fantastic. And similarly, Dave Rubin will have like a right leaning guest on, and then just be a sycophant. It's just like,
he'll sit there and be like, okay, while they talk about like
Yeah.
phrenology. And he's like, well, the school sizes are just smaller. They're just smaller school sizes, and that makes them dumber and more
and Dave
inclined
Rubin
to
would be like,
crime.
wow, that's so interesting. And then if left leaning guest is on and like, well, immigrants actually help our country. He's like, well, is that really true? I don't know about that. It's just like
The
so
$15
obvious.
minimum wage he really hates. He's funded by libertarians. Libertarians hate that shit because that means they'll have to pay their employees more. How do you feel
Yeah.
about the $15 minimum wage? I feel like that's not even close to enough.
Yeah, I think that the $15 minimum wage is a good starting point.
I think it needs to be up to 25, and we need to move down to a 30-hour work week. And I think that should be non-negotiable.
I think that would be awesome, but I don't think that is realistic to jump to. Already $15 is doubling the federal minimum right now. I don't think it's realistic. If you want to be a reformist,
I'm talking about not reforming.
if we're not reforming, then it's like, well, then what? Like, then we're gonna be basically, we're talking about like a civil war. We're gonna go to like a moneyless
No
faction
war.
society.
No war. We just got to get over 50% of the population on board
I mean,
to pay workers a livable wage. I don't know how. Maybe that would be the federal minimum, but I don't understand how someone in New York City can survive on 15. I don't know how someone in even living in Boise at 15, just living by myself. I don't know if that would be enough.
yeah, us together.
We would
Yeah.
have to both be on 15
Yeah.
to survive
And
well.
we have like we live very cheaply.
We live a simple life. We're simple working
Simple
class.
Folk.
Simple working class Americans.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think that I think that even the 15 people are balking so much on the $15. I think that it's a good thing to work towards.
I don't even know if that'll ever get through.
That's what I'm saying. So at least let's
They'll
just
maybe-
set that as a goal.
They'll maybe force companies like Amazon to do it.
Or like McDonald's. It's like
They'll never force small businesses to do it, which I understand the reasoning. I just disagree. I feel like I am of the opinion that if you cannot pay someone a livable wage, you should not be having employees. But some people
Yeah.
disagree with that, which is fine. That's a disagreement that we can have and we can discuss.
I think that you should be able to start a business. I think that like if you have a business idea that is going to help the country right now, the way that America functions, the way that America currently functions, if you have a small business idea and you need to be able to pay your employees, you should be able to get out a small business loan from the government that is able to pay employees a living wage till you get on your feet and you're able to do it yourself.
But it's like the everything is decided based on market value, not of value to society. It's like you have a better chance of going on Shark Tank and coming up with some trinket that
Yeah.
makes you, I don't know,
Bro, I watched.
cook eggs easier, but you're instead like someone who could like, hey, I came up with an invention that can process salt water into clean water. I don't know, could you monetize that?
Salt water and clean water. Yeah, that'd be like probably on a mass scale.
It would be something that really benefits society, but
Yeah. Bro, I was
would that
watching.
be a patent that really like gets you a lot of money?
Possibly, but it's really expensive to implement. Bro, I was watching Shark Tank the other day. It was so depressing. There was this lady who was selling. Were you watching it with me? This lady was selling a skinny mirror. It was like a mirror that made you look thin.
See what I mean?
No, listen, it was crazy. She like had this whole spiel about how she's like, it's about making you feel good about yourself. So when you look better, you feel better and you have more confidence and blah, blah, blah. And she made everyone stand in front of the mirror and look skinnier. And then they were like, well, who is this for? They're like, well, do you sell it to individuals, like out of a boutique? Like, what do you do? And she's like, well, I sell it to big retailers. And they realized that if they put these mirrors in their retail stores, it increases sales by 20% because people think they look better in the dresses.
So they're lying.
Yeah. And they were like, oh,
to make people feel better.
they were like, oh, okay, we get it. You know, it was like finally at the end, she's like, well, we sell it to like retailers at a mass scale to like sell more dresses. I was like, no, dude, come on.
That's
Come
so
on.
funny.
It was so heart-wrenching. Oh my
But
God.
shit like that is what really is going to be something that gets you financial gain. Things that are really good for the common goals, they either get absorbed by the government
Yeah.
or they don't make as much money as things like Amazon or Facebook or Twitter. Like things
It's
that
true.
things that improve our material conditions are really not things that
It's true.
are good financially.
It does become problematic when we try to move things to the private sector that are common good, like
Water.
education or commodifying water or healthcare. Like it becomes a big problem because people want to make money off of things that people need, like going to the doctor. And it's like insulin. It's like people need insulin, so people will not pay their rent to get insulin because they'll die without it.
Right, because
So they can make insulin $1,000 a month or whatever, and people will just fucking do whatever they can to pay it.
you got to prioritize whether you want to be alive or live inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it becomes a huge problem when we try to monetize public goods.
No one should ever go bankrupt for getting cancer. You should not.
And most people do.
A lot of people, there are people that get brain cancer and they're 28. They can't really afford treatment for it.
Yeah,
And they can't
literally
continue
go
working.
bankrupt.
They can't continue
Mhm.
working while they have cancer. So what do? There's nothing.
Yeah, I even bro, I had a coworker who when I lived in Salt Lake who got in a car accident without health insurance when he was 21, and he had a $70,000 medical bill. And he's like, "Yeah, I just he just lost
Halfway to
whatever-
a house.
Yeah. He just lost his whatever job he had 'cause he couldn't work for a while, and he had a kid, and he just was working a bunch of retail jobs just to try to pay off his medical debt, but he wasn't able to go to school or do anything.
Completely normal shit.
Yeah. I was like, this is tight.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good, probably.
Our country's going to go so well. But that's okay. We're just riding the wave.
So here's what would happen in an actual American Civil War. We would have the government. The government would probably be like the liberal class. The liberal establishment government would be one faction. And then you would have the sort of communist, socialist group.
Mm-hmm.
They would be their own faction. And then you would also have another third militia, and it would be like these right-wing militias, these 3%ers, these sort of Confederate flag waving, kind of a government-hating, libertarian, racist sort of, I would say Nazis, but they're like something different than Nazis.
Just general fascists.
Yeah, just general fascists.
Mm-hmm. I think that you're way underestimating the amount of factions. I think that we're going to have a bunch of factions.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an anarchist faction. You think the disputes between the communists and the anarchists are too much?
Oh, yeah. And I think that, on the right, I think that you're going to have, a weird, Tradcath fascist faction. And I think that you're going to have,
really?
and I think that you're going to have a bunch of these, online hacktivist, Groyper Nazis. that are one faction that never leave their fucking houses.
They'll never do anything. They'll never have any sort of political.
But I think that they shouldn't be discounted, and then I think that you're gonna have like the. I think that you're gonna have like
the 4chan people. They're not gonna do anything. They're just gonna like try and influence the minds of people through
that
internet
does
communication.
Shit. They're gonna be like the propagandists. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I think there's gonna be there's gonna be like a bunch of QAnon boomers that have like weird like solar panel RVs just like roaming around with like radios, doing radio shows. I think it's gonna be crazy, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because it's inevitable. The way that the state is handling climate change, the way that the state is handling the housing crisis, the way the state is handling all sorts of financial institutions, student debt. There's a bubble. There's a certain point. The United States is in copious amounts of debt, just insane amounts of debt. There's a certain point where the bubble is going to crash.
I always feel like I'm being crazy. Like I always worry about that. Like I'm like maybe I'm just like overreacting, but then I listen to just like my normie coworkers talk about it, and they feel it too. Like they'll talk about it too. Like my coworkers will be like, "Wow, I wonder when the economy's gonna crash. We've had so much. I'm doing so badly, but I hear the economy's doing so well. It's gotta crash sometime."
It's doing so well.
Yeah, I don't even say anything. Like I don't start shit, but my coworkers were totally apolitical.
There's a general feeling in the air
that
something is about to go down. I imagine this is similar to how things felt in revolutionary France.
Yes, exactly.
It's just sort of in the air.
No, like it was, oh my gosh, I saw this like tweet the other day that was like right after Trump's rally where everyone was chanting "Send her back" about Ilhan Omar. Merriam-Webster tweeted out that the most searched words on their dictionary website were fascism, communism, socialism, bigotry, immigration. I mean, it was like
it's bad. In times of economic disparity, historically, if you look back historically at pretty much every Western nation that even more global nation.
Every
country that has had insane amounts of economic disparity, the things that rise up in the ashes of that are always fascism and communism.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that people go to. And if we're not careful, if we do not plan our next steps accordingly, things could potentially get violent. And fascist uprisings could be.
What's really funny is that we were like, we're going to have some topics and we're going to stay light and not talk about violent uprising.
It's impossible.
And here we go. But you're right.
The new reports are saying that the climate crisis could end civilization as we know it by 2050. That doesn't mean that the human race will be extinct. It will just end human civilization as we know it.
It'll look really different.
There will be no one living in Florida. There'll be no one. The risk for a storm will be too high. There will be too many droughts in California. People won't live there anymore. There will be people moving inland, and there will be refugees. There will be climate refugees.
I always just imagine though that what if we're wrong
about climate change?
Yeah.
There's no right and wrong. This is not a right and wrong issue. If you look at the scientific data and you show what sea level rise has already done.
I don't mean what if climate change is fake.
Oh.
I mean what if we fix it?
If we fix
and
climate
it just
change?
limps along.
The way I'm seeing our government discuss climate change right now, I don't see that as a possibility. I don't think there are some Democratic candidates that are doing the right thing, that are talking about it being a climate crisis. I know Kamala has her issues, but she does go out there. She talks about how it's a climate crisis, and we need. AOC is another one who's saying we need.
Bernie does.
And they talk about how we need to like get ourselves together like the United States did in World War II. That we need that type of attention.
What do you think? Command economy?
I mean, it's going to have to be.
Nationalize oil, you think?
Oh, fuck oil. We need to nationalize oil, and we need to like a heroin user, like what's it called when you taper your doses until you're just completely clean of it. Mm-hmm. And we need to start tapering immediately. And I don't see that sort of action. I see a large populist right-wing movement that is very emboldened by Trump. I think the Democrats are going to get crushed in 2020.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're gonna get crushed.
They're going to get crushed, and we're going to get another 4 years of Trump. And I think that there will be something weird like a Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson. There's going to be some
2024.
There's going to be some TV, YouTube, right-wing pundit that sweeps the election in 2024. And so, no, I don't. I think that
That's what I think too. I think it's gonna limp along.
It's
until,
gonna more
until
than limp
2024, and then we're gonna get somebody really fashy.
we have no chance at it. But while I do not have hope for our system, and I do not have a hope for our system limping along, I am a big optimist, and I do believe that we will be able to rise above the government, and we will be able to, as the people,
make something better.
make something better. And I do think that we're going to be able to beat climate change. I just don't think it's going to happen within the current framework of our system.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I don't see really any action being taken. Like, I just see all of these candidates like just taking money from these companies that are just like destroying the planet. And I'm like, okay, sweet.
As long as there's ExxonMobil and Nestle, and
oh yeah, it's like
British
what Nestle,
Petroleum.
bro.
as long as those companies exist, there is zero fucking chance. As long as the Koch brothers exist, there's zero fucking chance.
Yeah. Bro, Nestle. We're talking about Nestle.
Jesus Christ. Fuck Nestle.
Yeah, I was getting so pissed.
Nestle wants to own the water. How the fuck do you own water?
Imagine
How do you
being-
go to a
Bro.
river and say, that river is fucking mine? I own this water. And you people that live here that need to drink the water, you fucking can't. And now
You have to
Flint,
pay
Michigan,
me.
now Flint, Michigan is in the worst water crisis that our country has ever seen. People can't get clean water in Flint. They haven't been able to forever. And guess what? The Republicans, they don't do shit about it. And guess what? The Democrats didn't do fuck all about it either.
Yeah.
Obama goes to Flint, Michigan, drank a glass of their water and said, hey guys, actually it's fine. So no, I don't believe that we're going to be able to defeat this by liberal democracy, because the liberals have failed us again and again, and they tend to not do shit about climate. They don't do shit about the water crisis. They don't do fuck all.
Go off, King. Go off.
Fuck Obama.
Get his ass.
Fuck Hillary.
Get her ass.
Fuck Bush.
Get
Fuck
his
Trump.
ass. Get
Fuck
his ass.
Clinton.
Get his ass.
Fuck Bush. Fuck Reagan. I can go back farther. I know the presidents. Fuck Jimmy Carter.
Fuck Thomas Jefferson. Him especially.
Yeah, fuck Thomas Jefferson. The
He
American
set
Revolution.
this all up.
The American Revolution sucked.
God damn, it's all your guys' fault, founding fathers. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, people like get upset about like you talking bad about the founding fathers. Like, really, you have such a boner for people that existed 250 years ago. Like, go suck a dick. Go suck some Protestant dick.
Yeah, okay. They wrote a piece of paper, and now everyone's like, yep, they were so smart. They were just the biggest fucking geniuses
Flawless.
that ever lived.
Fatality.
And we can't fucking touch the Constitution. And we're going to argue forever and ever and ever about what the Second Amendment means and what exactly are the rights that are outlined in the Constitution, instead of just being like, hey, maybe it's a time for a new framework, you know? Maybe it's time for a new framework.
It never worked. It was never good. It was built upon the backs of slaves and the genocide of Native Americans. It was never good.
Yes, you're right. Exactly. It was just the same thing. They took the colonialism of the UK and the white supremacy that built the UK, and then just were like, we like that.
And then the UK reformed over the years, and we didn't.
Yeah. We did not keep up. And the UK's not even doing good. The UK is just descending into madness.
Yeah, it's descending into madness, but you look at their right-wing leaders, and they're the ones saying, like, oh, yeah, what President Trump said about Ilhan Omar, that was incredibly racist. I can't believe he would say such a thing. I disavow it completely.
That's true. You see, they're Tories.
Those are the right-wingers in England.
Yeah, they're Tories look at Ben Shapiro and they're like, that guy's crazy, bro. He's wild.
They look at Donald Trump and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, they look at our Republicans and they're like, bro, you guys need to tone shit down.
It's like when you overdose on too many red pills.
Yeah. Take all the pills. Take the red pill and the black pill. I need to stop watching Owen Benjamin videos.
Incredible. Owen Benjamin, holy shit.
Owen Benjamin is my new favorite fascist.
Owen Benjamin, he's so off the rails you can't even like be mad at him.
I mean, you can because he is
could absolutely be mad about him.
because he's a Nazi. But it's like
he hates the Jews. He's like a trad.
he's
Christian.
he's just like the classic waspy fascist, like American classic waspy American fascist.
So for anyone who doesn't know, there's this guy Owen Benjamin who used to be on the Steven Crowder show.
He used to do PragerU videos,
and he was like a kind of like
he
was a stand-up
he was
comedian.
in some movies even.
Yeah, he was in some Adam Sandler movies. He was a stand-up comedian turned political activist, and what he got popular from is being transphobic, actually.
Yes.
He like went on this rant about like trans kids. You know when someone's talking about trans kids that they're...
He had this weird thing caught up in his brain with like pedophilia and like teaching kids about sex too early and it being like pedophilic, and he just is obsessed with like pedophiles in like a weird way, and to the point where it's yikes, you know what I mean? That's all he talks about. And
if you listen to Owen Benjamin talk about it, you'd think that like 1 in 3 kids was trans.
Yeah, you'd think it was like an epidemic.
You'd be like walking around and be like, oh wow, there's so many trans kids.
Yeah, wow.
Holy
every
shit.
kid, I just see all these trans
every
babies.
kid is trans now.
These 3-month-old trans babies.
I went
lipstick on these trans babies, you know. So he just
babies. They're
babies.
babies.
Sorry,
Yeah.
So I'm a baby. I'm baby.
I'm baby.
So he I like to keep an eye on all the Nazis. That's just something that I do in my spare time. I have talked about. I should write a blog about it. There's all these people on Twitter that are like
reporting on the alt-right.
Yeah, reporting on the alt-right, and I feel like I know more about the alt-right.
Way
more
too
about
many
the alt-right.
mistakes.
Yeah, they fuck up all the time. I know way more about the alt-right than these people do, and that's probably because
You're a loser.
because because I have too much free time.
I'm a loser too.
So why don't you kill me?
That's why we're Kikwaddle.
We're king and queen of the losers.
Yeah, we're the absolute. We're the monarchs, actually.
We are the monarchs of the losers. So, point being, Owen Benjamin he's at the top of my list right now in terms of people that I keep an eye on because he is super sketch. He says the most wild shit, and he gets in drama with all the other Nazis. He just gets like in this petty arguments. And to be honest,
their arguments are like about the moon landing and whether and who hates the Jews more.
It's ridiculous.
It's about like who hates the Jews
Yeah.
more, and they're like, "No,
Yeah.
you're a shill for the Jews." Like, "No, you're a shill for the Jews."
Well, because
like, this
is something that I wanted to talk about.
This is gonna get demonetized so fast.
Yeah, it's
like
fine.
you can't even like talk about this shit
It's
anymore.
fine. There's the
Oh, well, we upload this on our second channel. We're not
Yeah,
even monetized
exactly.
over there. So who fucking cares?
There's a disagreement.
Cunt, penis.
Yeah, there's a disagreement that Owen Benjamin had with Nicholas Fuentes because Owen Benjamin is 1/4 Jewish. He's the exact same amount of Jewish that I am.
You are. So we would be allowed in Owen Benjamin's version of an ethnostate.
Yeah, exactly. So Owen Benjamin, in his mind, he's like white enough to be in the ethnostate.
He thinks he is.
But Nicholas Fuentes says, "Oh, I know you're a Jew, man.
You're really a
1/4
Jew.
Jewish. You're really a Jew." So by that logic, I'm 1/4 Jewish. I'm too Jewish for Nicholas Fuentes' version of the ethnostate.
But you're not Jewish enough
but I'm
to
not
be
Jewish.
a Jew.
Yes, but then I was watching the Sam Cedar show, and he was talking about whether Seth Meyers was Jewish.
And Seth
He's
Meyers
like,
is 50% Jewish.
No, Seth Meyers
Same
is
as you?
also 1/4 Jewish.
Same as you.
Literally the same. He has a maternal grandfather who's Jewish, just like me.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, Seth Meyers isn't Jewish."
So like
He has a
laughing about it.
Yeah, they're like,
They're
"Oh,
like,
he's not
not Jewish?"
He has a maternal grandfather who's Jewish. I was like, "Okay, so I'm not Jewish enough for Sam Cedar, but I'm plenty Jewish enough to be
For the
to
Nazis.
be kicked out of Nicholas Fuentes' ethnostate."
So you have no home.
So where
That
do I
sucks.
go?
That sucks.
I know. It's
You're
weird.
too much of a Jew for the Nazis,
Yeah,
but not enough of a Jew for the Jews.
Yeah.
That's
My
beautiful.
honestly,
That's punk rock.
I'm just in limbo. I'm in just a weird Jewish limbo with
Yeah.
my Jewish identity. It's a crisis that I go through all the time. It's a crisis. I don't know what to do about it.
That's we don't get our Soros bucks.
Yeah,
We don't get our Israel bucks.
Yeah,
we don't get any of that.
I don't get to go to the homeland, but I
That's
also
right.
don't get to go to the ethnostate. Not that I want to.
Not that we want to.
Not that I want to. I'm just saying that I'm excluded from whiteness by the Nazis.
That's right.
But definitely
You get to
still
lie. They don't what? Just lie.
lie about what?
Being Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
Sneak into the ethno state. That was the best sigh ever.
I'll
No,
sneak into the ethno state to sabotage Owen Benjamin's, what does he call it? Ursa Manor.
Ursa Manor, that's his like little farm, his little Nazi farm.
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
So, like, I've always thought about this, and I've always played this little experiment in my head. Like, what would I have done if I lived in Nazi Germany during the fascist uprising there? I've always thought about it, been like, would I have been one of the people that was strong enough to resist, or would have I been one of the people that just kind of fought for my own life, took the selfish route, and just like kind of followed orders? And
I think you would have followed orders.
no way. I mean, that's what I'm. You fucking bitch. You cunt. You absolute cunt. No, that's what I'm saying right here is like I want to prove to myself if there's ever a fascist uprising in this country, which I think there's a possibility with all these fucking Proud Boy marches and all these cities and all these cops with their white supremacist ties. I think this is a very good possibility. And I think it's important to prove to ourselves that we won't stand by and we won't be like those scabs for the system. We won't be those that just follow orders. I refuse to do that.
I agree. And I've always run through the simulation as well, knowing that just even being as Jewish as I am and doubly having a disability caused by my Jewishness, definitely probably would have had to get out.
Right, but also you can fake your disability too.
Sometimes.
You could lie about your Jewishness and your disability. You could have totally been a scab.
Probably I could have gotten with a fake ID and stuff.
Yep.
But I wouldn't have. My family got out.
I refuse.
My grandpa's family got out when shit started getting heating up a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if a lot of the Europeans who listen to this podcast, because I know there are a few. We have a pretty decent European fan base.
Yeah.
Sorry for not getting into your politics as much. We've kind of got our own thing going. We got our own.
I follow Brits a little bit and Australia.
We talked about Boris Johnson today. I don't know if we referenced him, but that's who we were talking about earlier, who disavowed Trump as the crazy.
He wouldn't call it racist.
Yeah, he refused to call it.
But he said it wasn't.
It was gross. It was a
he
bad
said it was
comment.
unbecoming or something.
Which, by the way, is pretty close to Nancy Pelosi's stance.
Yeah, that she said Trump isn't racist, but what he said was racist. That's what she said.
God, Nancy Pelosi is
so
a
bad.
cunt. She is a cunt.
Stop calling people cunts. Stop calling women cunts.
I'm not going to ever do that.
You don't call dudes cunts.
Yes, I do.
No, not as often.
You're right. I usually call them like dicks or douchebags.
Exactly. I think you need to self-crit a little bit on that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to stop, but we'll see. Anything's possible.
Nancy Pelosi is useless, and she is upholding the system just as much as anyone else. Because she's old and she doesn't give a fuck. She's going to die before the planet dies.
Yeah, she doesn't care about future generations.
And Andrew Yang doesn't care about disabled people.
That you got to make that meme.
I do. I need to make that meme.
It's Kanye West when Kanye West was on the news.
Yeah.
And he said, George Bush doesn't care about black people. You should do
that. Was so good.
Don't
use... You use like the
Jesse Lee Peterson
voice for Kanye West. That was that was hilarious.
He kind of did sound like that there. That's not what he sounds like.
Yeah, a little bit. The other day I looked up like what I could get if I was on disability, and it was $912 a month, which is not like livable.
Yeah, no, you can't even go. You can't afford disability.
Yeah, but then it occurred to me, I was like, damn, that's like almost the Yang bucks. But Andrew Yang wouldn't give me $1,000 if he became president, because if I were on disability, it would subtract from the Yang bucks. That's like the rule.
Yeah, so you would get 912
disability,
and then you would get,
and then I'd get 18 Yang bucks.
Yeah, no, more than that. 79. 70. We're bad at math. Do not do math ever again.
Let us know in the comments how many Yang bucks I get.
88.
No.
88, yeah. 912.
Yeah, 88.
88.
Holy shit, man.
Fuck, man.
It's been a long day, okay? I've been up since 6:30.
You haven't done math in probably 2.5 years.
You know what? I do a lot of mental math at work, okay?
Excuse me.
I count the tills every day.
Yeah, your
And-
mental math is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, no, but
counting by
then
fives.
no. Listen.
So they teach you in kindergarten.
Listen. But then sometimes I have to be like, okay, I need 10 fives and 5 ones, and I got to make it out of 20s and 10s and quarters, and I have to do perfect. And I'm the shift lead that has the most accurate tills of any shift lead.
It's awesome.
So say I'm good at math.
You're good at math.
Thank you.
You're good at math, sweetie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Ruby is doing the dumb thing she does where she sits by the door.
The sliding door, even though there's a cat door where she can come inside.
That sliding door hasn't opened in maybe a year.
Yeah, and she just thinks that it's a way in, even though she knows how to get
has
inside.
a cat door.
But and we never open it for her. It's like we're trying to train her that she can't come in through there. I know she can see us.
She's so stupid. You said this when she was a baby. You said when Ruby was a little baby, you noticed that she was not doing smart things.
I did. I noticed that she was not very smart.
And you're like, well, maybe we have a low IQ cat.
I did, yeah. I did say something along those lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now Ruby has grown up, and you were right. Our cat is really dumb.
She also is cruel. She's like
Evil. She's mean and dumb.
Yeah. She'll bring creatures inside, like large moths and bugs and small mice, like baby mice, and she'll just fuck with them and leave them half alive and suffering on our floor, and we have to put them out of their misery.
See, I think you think that it's diabolical. I think it's all connected to the dumb issue. I think that Ruby is like, all right, it's dead. And then it's like not dead. She's like, oh, shit, like Homer Simpson or something.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. I'd like to think that she's not, she doesn't have bad intentions. But also she's just a little predator that we've, let into our home. She's sharp, She's got little spikies on her. She's got sharp teeth. She can kill things.
She's very uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, when she hops off your belly really fast and she spikes into you.
Apparently cats need claws to jump.
Yeah.
Idiots. All right, well, that should probably do it on the podcast, right?
How long is it?
Let's see. It was about 50 minutes.
Sounds good to me.
That was a good time. I'm glad that we didn't go too crazy today.
We went a little crazy.
Yeah, I got a little heated there for a moment.
It's okay. It's cathartic for us. Hopefully it doesn't bring anyone down. I think that the takeaway should be that regardless of what our government is doing to fix any of the problems we may be facing, we need to be helping each other and building, mutual aid and building local power and preparing ourselves for our futures. And if you feel like you might need to be putting money into a retirement fund just in case we all figure it out, then you do that. And if you feel like you should be buying gold and getting a end of the world RV, then
do that.
Get on that. Whatever you need to be doing to make yourself feel like you're moving forward.
Organize locally.
Yeah, organize locally. Prepare for your future.
We need to organize locally. That's the only way we're gonna ever create some real change.
I think it makes you feel good to do stuff with people around you and build local power.
Yeah, the DSA does not endorse this podcast.
The DSA does not endorse this podcast. We are independent actors.
But we endorse the DSA.
But we like local DSAs.
There are plenty of things we don't agree with on the DSA.
If your local DSA is bad, you go make it better.
Yeah, because that's the best outlet for things to change. They are actual things you can do in your local DSA chapter.
And they're made of people just like you. So you can be a person and go and help the other people to make it better.
Most communities have them. Unless you live in a really, really small town.
And then if you were in a small town, you can start stuff if you want to.
It's actually a lot easier to enact change in a small town. You actually have a lot more political power in the way your local government is run.
Yeah.
All right. That has been a great podcast. Any closing remarks?
Make sure to meet us outside of Area 51 this coming September. We'll see y'all there.